Hi, welcome back. Episode 9 of the Who's Code Again podcast, the new Who's Code Again podcast. We have returned. This time it's Tushar and I after an international break. What's up, dude?
I am sad to announce that after 15 years, I have finally switched teams. By which I mean I've gone from Apple to Android.
No, temporarily he's on loan. He's on loan.
I've been loaned out to Android. And,
Loan
hence my
with an option to buy.
communications. Yeah, with an option to buy back into.
Yeah, he got green screened of death. I don't know what. I didn't even know that was a thing. His phone was very brat over the last week or so.
Yeah, it was very bad.
God, we're so
It's not like
old.
millennial uncles.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but Charlie XAX is technically millennial, and she's half Gujarati, so we claim her.
Majama.
Yeah. Much of wow, this episode has fully gone off the rails before we even began.
Speaking of going off the rails, who asked for this international breaks and it just throws everything off the rails, dude? It's such a pointless. Who's watching this stupid Nations League? Who's doing any of this?
I'd be very curious to know what the viewing figures are for international games around this time, because I feel like nobody watched any games this time around.
Nobody. I don't even think like people in France watch the France game. That's what I was reading. Like Mbappe decided not to go. All of that jazz.
The most
And
exciting
it's
thing
such a like a momentum, like it's like a speed breaker in your momentum for all your teams. It just sucks out all the life in your momentum.
I think the most exciting thing that happened was Tuchel got appointed the England manager, which I think was the right decision.
Saliba coming to England is something I did not expect. But Tushel's a great cup manager. It's a
I
great
agree.
cup manager. He's a shit league manager. Cannot for the life of him do a league. But I think in a cup, he's the Mourinho type guy. He'll do it.
Reece James, you know the Undertaker meme of him coming back to life in that coffin. No, I feel like that's Reece James' England career.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, it's the fridge again.
Speaking of fridges, it's a good pivot to start this episode. So everyone's been making this joke about how Arsenal have lined up the entire backline with just units, right? With these 6'4" fridges, and they traveled to Bournemouth to the Vitality Stadium, seaside, over the weekend, and I don't think anybody expected them to go and have the result they did. They lost 2-0. Thanks in part to an insane William Saliba mistake where he kind of gets. I wouldn't even blame him entirely for it. I think Trossard plays a bad ball back, which causes, I think, Evanilson to be through on goal. Saliba panics, brings him down. It's a yellow card from the ref initially, which then VAR intervenes and then overturns. As a result, he gets sent off. And then uh, Arsenal try and hold on. Martinelli misses a golden chance in the second half. And they're undone, ironically, by a set piece that has Ryan Christie at the end of it, almost a Barcelona-esque set piece, causes them to go 1-0 down. And soon after that, they concede another because if Raya brings down, I forget who he brought down in the penalty box, which basically led to the second, and ultimately the game was over. Now, a lot of controversy from Arsenal fans regarding the red card, and I'm so sure you've watched it back. Was that a red in your opinion?
I think it was a red. I think it was 100% a red. I think textbook. I don't know what is your explanation to why it shouldn't be a red. That would be.
I agree. Yeah, no, I don't think. I think it's a red. I think there's this weird issue that I have with Arsenal fans in general. Every time they lose a game, it's like an episode of Infowars. It's like they all turn into this Alex Jones type. There's a conspiracy against us. They're putting mercury in your water. What is the other thing? Jewish space lasers was what Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, you know what I'm going at, like tinfoil conspiracy hat. I don't get it. You can. I just they lost a game. Like they just ended up losing a game.
You
It
lost a
wasn't
game.
It's fine. Take it and move on. You weren't at the races. You guys have been. You're injury ravaged. I don't get the need to turn this into this whole circus every time you lose a game or a player gets sent off. They've had 3 red cards in the opening 9, 10 games of the season, and they've all been justified. In my opinion, they've all been justified.
Yeah, completely agreed. I think Saliba also constantly makes mistakes. Like you will see it throughout his career. He just constantly does, and it's okay. No footballer will 100% always make the right decision. They're gonna mess up sometimes. Take the hit, take it on the chin, and just go move on. That's it. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, he also tried to save a goal at the end of the day. He wasn't trying some malicious shit. He was just trying
I
to
just
save a
think he
goal.
panicked. I honestly don't think so.
Yeah,
And it happens. It happens to the best of us. We panic in scenarios where we're like, suddenly you're not thinking,
yeah.
and
In FIFA,
it's
sometimes you just
fine.
press slide tackle on your the goal and by mistake, and it just happens, dude.
Bastard. You know what, Tushar is. So this is okay. I would like let you into our personal lives for a bit. He's playing slide tag because this happened like a week ago when we were at a friend's place. We were all playing FIFA. Tushar was through on goal and he pressed the square button, and then which caused the ball to go out for a throw in. And he's like, "Am I an alternate?" And then he went back to
Yeah. See, now that's Infowars.
no, but I don't. I mean, I thought it was much ado about nothing. I thought finally, given the injuries, Saka didn't make the game, and as well as I think who else is missing? Odegaard is missing for some time. Marino just came
Yeah,
back. They look a little
yeah,
patched up.
and like Jesus, I've always felt like Jesus been shit in an Arsenal shirt. He hasn't really delivered. I think he had like a purple patch last season or last season.
Season before last, I think, just before you
Yeah,
went to the
season
World Cup.
before last. Yeah. And then
Mm.
after that, he's not really been there, delivered, or really done anything. This is like the last 5 minutes, and he's just like rotating the ball in the midfield. And I'm like, maybe press up, maybe try. Like, what are you doing going in circles in the midfield? What are you doing?
I think Jesus is probably one of the most overrated players to have come out of the Premier League. I think he's like a poor man's Chicharito. And as a matter of fact, I think Chicharito is better than him. And I've said this, I think, on the pod 100 times before as well.
I feel like
Mm.
he's a dollar store Morata.
Uh,
Like how Morata is always in the shadow of Ronaldo. This guy was
mm.
always in the shadow of the main striker. But if you made him main striker, he's like, what? This isn't my role.
But the thing with Morata, like, I would one on one if Morata and Jesus were going one on one on goal, I would have Morata take that chance. I think Morata's a better finisher than Jesus. I know
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
has that Dallo moment last season against United, but besides that, I don't. He's not clinical in my opinion. He doesn't sniff chances out. As a matter of fact, he said something about how he likes being this chaotic striker. I am not a fan of it, and I don't see what other fans
I
see,
mean,
and clearly
a lot of
Arsenal fans.
chaos, no goals. Yeah.
Yeah, no goals. Exactly, no goals. I think it's done. There was an Arsenal fan who said something a couple of weeks ago where he said, "I think the team has progressed to a point where you don't need Jesus or Zinchenko, which is a good indication of how we've progressed." I think Jesus and Zinchenko, when they were first signed by Arsenal, were looked at as signings that could take them to the next level. They've managed to take it to the next level and above, and they've kind of left these two back in the dust. I don't think Kai Havertz is a 25 goal striker a season. 25 goals a season striker rather, but I think he's a better outlet than Jesus, and I think he's
But
significantly better.
I think he's been playing this silky smooth, crazy football with Arsenal, which is really nice to see. And maybe he's
I
not like 25
wouldn't.
goals, but the passes he's making and the moves and the defenders he's tracking, he's doing a good job. I think.
I don't think they're silky smooth in the way they were 2 seasons ago. I think they're a lot more. They venture into
Yeah, I don't
games to
think
not lose.
Arsenal is. I think Havertz
Yeah.
is.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then that's a fair enough reason.
yeah. And he's always that delicate, that striker who just he'll move very like poetry in motion type. But
Yeah, they needed that guy from Sporting Lisbon last year who I think it's Victor Gyökeres or something. They needed a one gunman, which they don't have. I think they've bought well to solidify the defense and in midfield. They're pretty good, but up front, if without Saka, there is no one on the right wing to cover. Sterling keeps getting brought
yeah,
off, and Sterling is the same problem, right? I saw there's this old video from the Euros where there's this guy's like, Sterling, pass it here, pass it to this guy. No, now put the ball in the box. Don't pass it back. Don't pass it back. And as he says, Sterling passes it back. And the tweet said,
Yeah.
yeah, there are 4 fan bases that understand this guy's pain.
Yeah, he just fell off a cliff. He's just not the player. Uh, he's one of the worst Chelsea rejects that Arsenal have bought amongst the others. It's probably one of the
Who are
worst
the
that
worst?
they've
Who are,
done.
I mean, you sold them a bunch of guys that to this day I'm just like, well, I don't know how you got away with it. Willian, I think, being the prime example.
Yeah, Willian was probably the worst because he had no legs left when he went.
Yeah.
I mean, Sterling's contender there as well because he's not doing anything. He's not contributing. His pace is off. His
Hmm.
ball control, shots, everything is a little bit off. I think City know when to sell a guy, and
Yeah.
both Jesus and Sterling, Man City to basically Man City
Hmm.
Chelsea rejects. Not
Arsenal
really
sweep them
working
up.
out for them.
But speaking of Chelsea, Liverpool and Chelsea, this was the prime time fixture this game week. It happened yesterday. I thought it was a great game. I thought, especially the first half, it was more like a game of chess where both teams were trying to going back and forth. And I think for up to about 25 to 30 minutes, up to the Liverpool goal, Chelsea were bossing it. I
I don't know. Like so here is where I think Arne Slot, the tactician, has come in. He's done a
hmm,
great job. If you see like the West Ham game, I think 2 or 3 games ago, it was just Chelsea doing lightning fast counters, and with our
hmm,
attack, we're just going to before you know it, we would have scored a goal.
hmm,
You blink an eye, and we would have scored. So he realized that don't give Chelsea space on the break. Let Chelsea keep the ball 60%, 70% possession, and they'll counter on the break. And he has such a good defense that it's impossible. Like they would just park the bus. Um, he was happy to let us have a high line. Like we kept
hmm.
a quite a high line, and then we were bossing, but we were not scoring. That's the thing, right? There's a lot of positives you can take out of the game, like Neto being amazing and stuff like that. The output at the end was that Ani Slot got the better of us.
Hmm.
I think so.
No, I think also what Arne Slot has done really well is he's made Liverpool a lot more pragmatic, which I think is like alluding to your point. The Liverpool are still one of the best teams in transition. They're super quick on the counter. They're clinical, and they're
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Jota, Salah, and
You give
even
Salah, Nunes a half a chance and then score. Right? They don't need 10
Nunes, I
chances.
think, is probably the weakest link of them all. But generally, the other Gakpo, Jota, they're a lot more clinical than, and that's all you need, right? That's all you need compared to the rest of the team. I think the both the games I've seen Chelsea lose. One, this was against City, and one was against against Liverpool, right? The 2 games they lost. They had a lot of the ball in both the games, but I'm quietly confident that they'll only improve on on this current setup going forward. They just
Yeah,
need to sort out their wingers. I think Nico Jackson had a great game yesterday. I think Nico Jackson is getting better and better with each game. I think we're really looking at a striker who last season was making the runs, but had the finishing wasn't there. This season, the finishing is there. What a great finish! That equalizer was really nice, and I thought it was deserved.
yeah. I
Um,
think our defense is still a little naive, little juvenile, still learning. Like I've been saying since the start that our whole thing plan this season will be that you just have to score more goals than we let in because our defense is shit.
hmm.
But they're also improving. But they're doing stupid things like you just scored a goal, you just equalized, and you're trying to do an offside trap near the penalty box. Why are you doing that? Right? And it might be some process of Maresca or something, but I think him, the manager, and the defense have to learn to be more pragmatic, be more like, okay, just defend for 5 minutes, hold the ball. Like we're holding the ball the whole while. You just scored and then you let them equalize.
Exactly. I was looking at that gap that Curtis Jones had to run. I think who was it? Tosin and between Reece James, he makes the run in between Reece James. You could tell Reece
Correct.
James is still a little stiff. He's just coming back from a very
Yeah,
long injury.
he's almost
He's
limping. Yeah.
He's not quite there. So it's just, I think they just took advantage of it and then equalized, and now they're top of the table. Efficient, man. Liverpool are just efficient. They grind out.
I think they're one weekend away from title contenders. I just need to see the Liverpool Arsenal game, and if they win that, then I think it's
Yeah,
Liverpool in the
because even
driving seat.
City look quite terrible. It'll be hilarious if Liverpool win the title in a season everyone predicted Arsenal to win the title.
Be even more hilarious if it's like Arnie Slot in his first year wins it.
Oh yeah. Oh, Klopp has some serious
Klopp
questions. But
will his big smile might not come out.
but everyone says this is Klopp's team, so they'll be like, oh, it's not Arnie Slot's team. We don't know.
No, but like, see, that's what I'm saying. The way he set up the team yesterday,
Hmm.
he clearly thought it through. He's like, this is how Chelsea played. This is how we're going to counter them. This is how we're going to score, and everything worked to plan. I mean, for Chelsea side, like the process that Maresca is doing is clearly working. What he's done
Mm-hmm.
in this season, quarter of a season, is a lot better than what we've done in like 4 or 5 seasons. The fact that we're in top four, maybe we're not in title contending, but the fact that we're in top four is pretty good. Like it's a good place to be in. I think
Yeah.
we'll finish somewhere there, and that's fine.
This Sancho situation, I feel like Chelsea fans are getting a little frustrated. There was this guy who put out a tweet, I think a month ago, saying, "Oh, United sold Chelsea that the best associative winger in the league." I don't know some word he used, and then yesterday he was like, "Sancho, my friend, can you play at a different gear? Like one, just like take it up a notch." Uh, this is the same Sancho we saw at United, and not much has changed. When Pedro Neto came on, automatically Chelsea looked so much better, like instantly.
Yeah,
Like with
Neto. I feel like Neto should start like, but I don't know if he'll be as effective. Like in the 70th minute when everyone's a little tired, his pace is just
the Renato Vega chance that goes over the bar, does it not come from a Pedro Neto cross, or was it a Cole Palmer? This thing, Cole Palmer, I mean, was famously
Cole Palmer.
quiet. Mm. But
I think it's
the
Cole
end, I
Palmer.
think there's one cross towards the end of the game which eludes. I think yeah, this is the one which eludes everybody and goes out for a goal kick. I think Neto is dangerous because not only can he finish, he can also put the ball in the box if need be.
Yeah, yeah, required.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
a proper old school winger. I love that kind of profile.
Yeah, I'm in love with our attack. Like that
Hmm.
trio, Cole Palmer, Jackson, and Neto, they've scored 18 goals between them,
Already.
right? Already. Yeah. And it's like best trio or something, some Opta Joe status in the Premier League. Uh, the other side is Liverpool have only let in 3 goals in 8 games. They're a wall, dude. They're literally a wall with Van Dijk and all those guys. This is the wall.
Van Dijk, Konate. I think Konate is really come into his own this season. So Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, everyone keeps identifying as the weak link.
But Robertson would still walk into another defense, just not a Liverpool defense. Just comparative, relative to those guys, he's not that great.
I think if Liverpool just
Like,
sign a left back, they're good. Trent, I don't know. The Madrid rumors are happening. Will he go? Will he not go? Will he
he'll
sign?
go. He'll go. Even if he signs, he'll go. I think just to give like Liverpool something back.
Liverpool, that would be, I think that would be the move. The move would be to make sure that Liverpool gets something for him in return. But I don't know if Madrid will be cool with that because Madrid's whole philosophy now is we're Real Madrid. If you want to play for us, you play for us. We'll pay some money for you, not all of it. Go on.
What did you think of the foul, Nunes foul?
Oh, it's not the Nunes foul, the Tosin and Jota foul, right?
Yeah,
I think yellow card, and I say this because Levi Colwill is covering, and the foul initiates both the players are going for the ball, and it's a wrestling match which Tosin wins and Jota goes down, and it's Colwill. Colwill is covering, which is why it's a yellow card. If it was a red, if the chance that if it was a red, I would have said it would be soft, but I'd understand if it was given as a red. My personal opinion is a yellow card because Levi Colwill is right there, and as fast as Jota is, Levi Colwill is pretty good is pretty good recovering wise, and it's not the case where Ben White is 15 yards away from the player. Levi Colwill, as a matter of fact, is about 5 yards away from the player. He's in shot.
I agree. I think it's a yellow as well.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was a red. There's a lot of Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, what the should have been."
it's Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans who love a conspiracy theory, and Liverpool fans, I don't know, man. I think we would have heard a lot more about it from Liverpool fans if they hadn't won the game. Because through periods of that match, I was like, this has 2-2 written all over it. This is Liverpool. Chelsea at Anfield is most usually a draw. I think you've beat them thrice in the last 9 visits or something, or twice. You've had two wins there.
Yeah, they're a bogey team. Right? We had like two
Mm.
finals against them and we lost both.
On pens, no less.
Yeah, just never liked playing there, especially in Anfield. What do you think of the
But
Brentford
the
game?
Brentford game, you and I we missed the first half because we were at Akshay's baby shower. Akshay's having a baby, guys.
Uh,
so so and then I think we both had to leave. So on the way back, I was stuck in traffic and I had it playing in the back. And just as we left, I think Brentford scored, and everyone was in proper meltdown mode. But the moment United came out in the second half, they looked like a different team. I don't think they let Brentford breathe for the entirety of that half. They kept winning the ball high
Somebody
up the
scolded
pitch.
them. Somebody went and been like, "Come on, guys." I don't know. You saw, or they went and got a kick up their ass or something like that because they came out charged like this whole other United team that clearly the first half wasn't there at all.
Yeah, it looked like went back and watched the highlights. In the first half, it was very dry, nothing happened. And in the second half, within 3 minutes, Rashford gets a ball and pings one. What pings a absolute peach of a curler into Garnacho at the back post. He makes it 1-1. I think about 15 minutes after, there's this amazing set of movements from like the front four, which involves Bruno like flicking the ball behind him for Rasmus to make a run, and Rasmus chips the keeper and he scores. Man, I think see United generally, especially the front four, are all extreme output driven players. They may not be the most prettiest and the most technical on the eye, but they will generate consistent output provided you put them in the positions to generate output. And I don't think Ten Hag's system has allowed any of the front four to flourish for so long. I think this is probably the first example in a very long time where we saw all players contributing equally. Garnacho is
Yeah, I
young, but
think
he keeps going. He'll keep coming back. He has that Rocky mentality where he's like, okay, screw it. I got knocked down. I'm getting up back up again to come and take another shot. Rashford is once he hits that streak, it's like lighting a paper, like the touch paper on fire, lighting the touch paper, as they say, right? Off he goes. He'll start scoring in buckets. Hoyland is not the best to look at from a technical perspective, but he puts the ball in the back of the net and consistently does so. Bruno, we know Bruno. Bruno's a mad fucker. Like you have to give him you have to make up for his deficiencies that he will give the ball away consistently and let him still flourish. So I think the second half, Bruno really like pulled back and he kind of didn't go crazy. Even though there was a point in the 90th minute where he just randomly hoofed the ball, and I was like, "You fucking fool, not again!" But besides that, I think you need to cater to the team's strengths, and I
strength. Yeah,
don't. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't see Ten Hag system doing it.
I also felt like Brentford were really poor. They were
Yeah,
messing
they're
up the
really bad. Yeah.
simplest of things. They could have easily won that game, but they messed it up so badly that United got the advantage.
I think they should
And
have killed them in the first half. In the first half is usually if you go a goal or two, United's morale is so low that it's easier to
yeah,
take advantage of.
and I really liked Ugarte, and
Xerxes.
yeah, they really like managed to finish off the game, kept the ball, passed it. Like the end of the game, they did such a good job, and
I
that's really
I
nice to
have
see like a bright spot in like the United's darkness that's been there for the last decade or so.
I thought Ugarte came on. He didn't do anything like dangerous. He kept the ball, kept it moving.
Yeah, he did the
Xerxes, man,
boring, good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff, dude. Yeah,
Xerxes, I am like I am not quite sure yet. Sid called him the second coming of Suarez. I have labeled him Berbatov, but having watched him over the last 5 to 6 games as a striker, like your main goal is to score goals, dude. Like your job is to score goals. This man is like like Xerxes is the Ben Simmons of football. Now, those of you who don't know Ben Simmons was considered like this exciting prospect in the NBA, but all he does is fucking pass. He doesn't shoot, and that's exactly what Xerxes does. There are times where I'm like, make a run, get in the box, score, take a shot. Why I prefer Hoyland over? over Xerxes, that Hoyland will take chances, will go for that ball, will score. Xerxes, I feel like he's afraid to make those runs. He's afraid to be a striker. I and there was someone made a wild
He
comparison
also
the
keeps
other day. Like,
dropping back.
yeah, I don't need you to drop back, man. We have got like enough people. We need you to stretch the game, like make the runs, go behind. Maybe that's not your game entirely, but you need to start taking more shots. Somebody made a very valid criticism the other day. They said he's a 9.5. But you know who else was a 9.5? Scott McTominay, who has now gone to Napoli and become like this second coming of Maradona. The Napoli fans are in love with him. And someone brought up a very, I think one of the United YouTubers brought up a very valid argument. Is Xerxes more effective or is McTominay more effective? And everybody said McTominay, because McTominay does last year against Brentford. United needed 2 goals. McTominay came in there and scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and bounced. They played him at 6 all this while, when in reality he's like a Fellaini type, right? He plays off the striker.
I think if you guys are leading
Hmm.
and you just need to hold the ball, you probably need Xerxes there.
Yeah,
If you aren't, then you need Hoyland in there. That's
Xerxes will
that's
not.
my take on it.
Yeah, Xerxes will
Yeah,
not help us chase down a
he
lead
won't give
or
any
a
output. He's
deficit.
not going to score. None of that. But him just holding the ball, uh, he's able to take a press. All of those things, does it pretty well.
He's
It's
technically
not bad.
good, but again, output. United need output. The front 4 to 5 are not scoring. We need goals. With
I
the
mean, you
lowest
guys
scoring
need new
team in
legs,
the
right? You have Rashford, who's almost done.
26, you can see him slowing
Garnacho,
down a little
okay.
bit. I like Garnacho. I think he's a little raw. I think he's very raw, as a matter of fact. But I have hopes he'll hit the Di Maria ceiling, which is again an exceptional ceiling. I wouldn't say everyone. Some people were comparing him to Ronaldo. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think he
No,
has the
no
ability to
chance.
hit the Di Maria, be a very good consistent winger in his own stead.
I think there was a rumor that in the halftime, Ten Hag said, "Lads, either play for me or play for Southgate," and that's why they played the way they did.
I don't know. Every day we inch closer to that reality. With Thomas Tuchel going to England, I'm just like, oh man, you fuckers! If you, I think they're aware. Generally, they were about when United were about to sign Arnautovic, there were a bunch of racist tweets that he'd made that popped up, and instantly the fan base was like, no fucking way are we like putting up with this guy, and they didn't go for him. I remember it was one of Ten Hag's early, so they would have listened to the fans. If Southgate does come, I doubt. I mean, if they consider Southgate, I the sheer backlash they would get from the United fans would immediately put them off.
Would you say Evans and Delight are like the future of football and some big Dutch bloke?
I was how old was I? I was 16, 17 years old when Johnny Evans made his debut. I watched the man play for Fergie for about 5 years. He's in that insane Makeda moment. Like 2009 when we were writing CET, he was winning Premier League titles, and he's still our best defender. Like hands down, our best defender. I like Delict. I
Wow.
like him a lot, but it really says something when United's best defender is a guy who came to the club to just stay fit so he could get another club, and they signed him because he was so good.
Wow. Yeah, that's saying a lot.
Oh, it says a lot. But let's move on past United. I think they're I don't know. They're like Jekyll and Hyde. I don't. They go to Fenerbahce this week, where they're waiting, where a bunch of old friends are waiting for them in the form of Amrabat, Fred, and of course, lovely Jose.
Mourinho.
Mm. So
Yeah,
we
Mourinho will
come.
not miss a chance to shithouse a win against United somehow. He will also not, and if he wins, oh god, that media interview is going to be hilarious, dude. It's going to be super
I
funny.
love Jose, dude. I want him to be like you said, right? I want him to be away from our club, from the clubs I
Yeah,
love. Yeah,
but
but
in football.
but I want him in football. He's too entertaining. Moving on to other results. City Wolves. City won it right at the death, the 95th minute, and there was some controversy over Bernardo Silva barging into Jose Sa. Again, much ado about nothing. I'm a United fan. I've watched City win pretty much everything the last decade or so. I should have I should be rightly annoyed with everything they're doing. But I looked at that goal, and Jose and Bernardo Silva backs up into him and then moves, and then Stone scores a bullet header. City look a little. They're still trying to figure out their post Rodri team, but they keep marching on, dude. I don't think they can be got at, but I feel like they're just again points machine, pure points machine.
The biggest thing for me that pisses me off is that the Arsenal flares on Twitter that keep complaining about blocking the keeper. And I'm like,
The
you,
hypocrisy.
yeah, go find a cave and like dive into it and hide in the dark, idiots. What the hell are you talking about, dude?
It's like the call is coming from inside the room, guys. Come on. Ben White basically did it all of last season, and now he's not doing it this season. But if you were to go back and watch, was it the goal Arsenal score against City? They have Edison pinned, and by the time Gabriel is
Yeah,
up in the air,
exactly.
Edison is just pinned, and that's I mean if that's interference. No one said a word then. It's hypocrisy of it all. But I did miss a question I wanted to ask you, which I made notes for regarding Chelsea. Is that now with the Caicedo Lavia pivot, in my opinion, it looks like it's the pivot going forward. What does this mean for
Yeah.
Enzo?
The roster for Chelsea is so big. Like, you never know. Like, you bought so many players now, and Enzo's good as well. So the only way we can do it is you put him in like in Europe and just play him there. You can. We basically our. I think our plan is to just play like half another team in Europe and just use Enzo probably there, because for the Premier League, which is he set this 11. He's not moving from this 11
Yeah, I don't know how Enzo
no
breaks in,
matter
but
what.
that
Enzo's probably out from the Premier League team at least for the time being.
uh, no.
But knowing how the season is going for all the big teams and number of injuries, you'll never know. You probably
Yeah,
have to use it.
I like Enzo Fernandez. I don't think he's the finished product. I think because of the price tag and just the expectation that was set on him at such an early age is unfair. And there's a lot of Chelsea fans that are now fed up with him for some reason. I was listening to I think Sugar Sean, who's a big Chelsea fan. He's like, I'm sick of Enzo. I'm done with this nonsense. And it's kind of sad. Like I think he's a good midfielder. I doubt he's the
I yeah. I
120
don't
million,
think
150 million they paid for
we
him.
have the time to give him. There's so many players, right, who are better than him.
Yeah.
So we clearly don't have the time to give him that space to grow or to find his footing or any of that. I think he's a great player. I think he's good.
Hmm.
I don't think he's a 110 million great player. I think he's a 60 million great player
Yeah, like that's it. That's the
at
whole
best.
problem. The problem with inflated
Yeah,
because the early days of the Boli regime were so spendthrifty with their money.
yeah.
It
I was trigger
puts a lot.
happy.
Mudrik, I think, is probably like a 40 million player or lesser, if you ask me.
Yeah, at max. It's just
I'm
the Chelsea inflation and the Chelsea tax.
his transfer is funding the Ukraine war efforts, in my opinion. I think it's like that money went to like the armed forces. So
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, but uh, yeah, and somehow we have to by next season reduce our roster by a lot. We just have to, especially if we find our footing with these guys, which I think we mostly have. I think we have about 16 players that we know that's it, and that's the main team. And I hate the idea of having bomb squads and all. It just makes no sense. It's so sad. Like, why is there like a bunch of players like an outcast, like some
dude,
world
I had
class
no
system?
idea who Renato Vega was, and now he's like an integral part of the Chelsea team. You just
Yeah.
when did you sign this guy? This guy from where did he come from?
Dude, there was a point in the summer where I would just look at a player and I would try to decide whether did we sign him or did we not sign him? Did we sign him? Did we not sign him? We signed him in the summer only.
Fuck, I was like, who's this guy? Where did he come from? I remember seeing him coming on the pitch a couple of weeks ago. I said, huh? Who's this kid? But clearly, he's got the build, he's got the athleticism, he's good on the ball.
I feel like this summer scouts are a lot better than whatever the shit Boli was pulling last summer.
Yeah,
They seem to know that okay, this is the team that we want to build. This is, and they're doing a good job. And that trust the process thing is working here at least. Whatever process it is.
Speaking of
What do you think of the
processes,
Tottenham West Ham?
I was about to just go there about because of the processes. Spurs, it was, I don't know what West Ham are doing. I feel like it's that, that
So
Thanos meme.
before this game, I was like, whatever happens, this game will not be a clean sheet for
Yeah,
anybody because both are so shit at defending, so atrociously bad at it, and they kind of equaled each other out with 1-1. That's it.
it wasn't a draw.
It was 1-1 when I saw.
Yeah,
Really?
check the
What did
score.
it end at? 4-1? What the? Yeah. Oh man.
Mm, mm. No, I'll tell you
I
why. Because
think
and
I
yeah,
checked out by the first half. That's why.
because what happened, and I realized this much later on in the night. Because what happened was we were at Akshay's thing, and for some reason on Sid's phone it had said 1-1 at full time. Because I don't either we misread it or we were looking at the halftime score, which is why we assumed it was a 1-1 score, and off we went. By the time
Hmm.
I got home and I was watching the Bournemouth Arsenal game, because when I checked the Spurs score and it was 4-1, I said, when did Spurs score three more? And apparently in the second half, after Madison came on, Spurs just took off. They just took off and absolutely decimated West Ham. And Kudus got so frustrated, he slapped Van de Ven twice, kicked him, and pushed Richarlison to the floor, got sent off. And he was like, screw this. It was an absolutely hilarious experience. Man, West Ham, it's that old meme, as I was saying, the Thanos meme. Where have all your failures led you? Back to me,
Back to
David
me,
Moyes.
David Moyes. Why would you fire David Moyes? I feel like every game they just keep asking that.
He won you a European trophy, man. West Ham have a European trophy thanks to David Moyes, the Moyesaya. I know they're trying to be what Spurs are, and it's like basically it's a trial and error situation to get to where Spurs are. But like right out the Moyes years, Moyes will make you dogged, he will make you hated. Nobody will come to West Ham thinking, oh, it's going to be an easy 3 points. Everyone comes to West Ham thinking, oh, this the stadium is shit, but we're in for a bad day. But okay, I think we should add a segment to end this episode. We should do like a hero of the weekend and Gube of the weekend.
I think City scoring the last goal. That guy scoring the
It's
goal.
City. I don't want to give City credit. They're already too good. It's like giving telling the A+ student that he's very good. He knows. Let's give it to somebody
But
else. Let's
he's
give it to
literally the
Bournemouth, dude.
hero, dude. Last minute.
Give it to
Oh yeah,
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Yeah. Bournemouth are the heroes of this weekend. Nobody expected them to win a result. Irola, the
It's Arsenal.
manager,
Yeah,
is doing
yeah,
good
yeah.
job. We'll give it to them. Gube of the weekend is Southampton.
Oh, I thought West Ham.
No, Southampton were 2-0 up against Leicester. They lost the game 3-2.
They're just going in Lord Everton's footsteps.
Everton are back on. I think they've got like 2 wins, 3 wins in the last three or something. And Dwight McNeil and what a finish. Michael Keane, you need to go and watch this goal back. Absolute banger of a finish and great assist from Dwight McNeil as well. Everton are dashing their way back up.
But I don't know if they'll be able to stay up.
I think
Point thing.
um, all the promoted teams will go down. I think they're all bad. None of them are having a good time. I think that's what will keep them up.
Leicester
Southampton
might
are
stay
bad.
up.
Leicester probably might, but looking at the others, looking at Wolves, looking at even Ipswich are like they seem to be just sinking.
Ipswich are gone. Ipswich are gone. There's
Hmm.
no. Ipswich
So
are
it's
like a
just
3-point team. Just get your 3 points.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if Everton do manage to stay up.
You want to add another player Gube of the week?
What is player Gobe of the week?
Yeah, which player you think was a Gube this week?
Oh, okay, that way. Man. Player Gobe of the week. Saliba is player Gobe of the week.
Yeah, and
So we call it, or the Gubalt of the week.
Gubalt. And Tu Mera Hero player of the week.
What is this? Some TVS ad? Tu Mera hero player of the No, we'll call it the Govinda player of the week.
No, that would be if you shot yourself in the foot.
That's Saliba.
Yeah, that's Saliba, I guess.
It's the Govinda of the week.
End of the week.
Uh, hero of the week would probably be, I don't know, Curtis Jones. I'd say Curtis Jones had a penalty disallowed. Pretty much, kind of had a good game against Chelsea. I think he deserves his flowers.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, that's us. This episode should be out now. We'll put it up, and we'll be back again next week after the Chelsea. I'm saying Arsenal Liverpool game, which will be a fun watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
We'll
banger.
see how. Yeah, it'll be no
Unless
Saliba. It'll
both
be
of them
interesting.
sit back, which will just be.
Don't do that. Give me a game. It's at the Emirates, I think, and Arsenal will be forced to attack by the crowd.
I
So we'll
agree,
see.
dude. Give me a game. Somebody needs to get licked. I don't want it to be like, oh, good game, both sides, very good. I don't want some civil bullshit. I want a good game. I want managers being mad at each other. I want some drama.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
Yeah,
very excited. It's a Sunday fixture. No, I think it's on next Sunday.
yeah, dude. Bollywood wives who? Liverpool, Arsenal in.
This episode has been off the rails from the start. Maybe there's a bit in the middle where it made sense, where we're like in where we were low, but from the very start it was bad.
It's but off the rails maybe, but on the money on the entertainment.
Oh yes, of course. Huh, correct. Come for the football, stay for the idiocy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, friends. We'll see you on next week's episode. Please like, share, encourage our bad behavior. We like it as such.
Yes,
We'll see you soon.
please.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye bye.